Introducing the fucking best.
And we're back again. Everybody in the house, make some noise for the Super Suck Hour. Super official once again. My name's the Super Sucklord, representing from Fuzhou, Chinatown. Today, we have a special guest in the studio, Mr. Benny Klein from Tenacious Toys. Going to talk about the business, and as usual, we have the lovely J Corp on the market once again, and the fucking best, Nasty Neil. Swagging so hard on them. It's rather incredible. Yes, thank you. We're back in the studio. Lot of stuff to cover today. We had an incredible run the last session, and we're keeping it up. I want to let everybody know that we are expanding our footprint every week. We are now on YouTube, Stitcher, and Libsyn. You know what Libsyn is?
Never heard of it.
Yes, it's some very important podcast hosting service, and I need to submit the show to iTunes again because the first time I submitted it through our SoundCloud RSS feed, and they were like, nope, we don't want the Suck Hour on iTunes. I'm guessing because we may have had a little bit of questionable music as far as the licensing goes. So I went through all the fucking old episodes, switched out the music, re-exported the audio, loaded them onto Libsyn, and then when I get a minute, I'm going to submit it back to iTunes. And they better fucking take us this time. Although my impression is that most people prefer to watch this show for some inexplicable reason.
It's awesome. I like watching it.
You sit there and watch it, or you have it on in the background?
No, I'll watch it.
You'll just sit there for an hour and look at the screen.
Dude, when I'm on the computer, there's like 53 windows open.
Oh, so it's
so
just
like you're like.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Because
one of his 53 screens.
I would like it if somebody sat there and watched it. I would question their sanity.
I sit there and watch it.
You do, while you're working and doing your invoicing and all that
just
stuff.
Whatever the hell I do. What do I do?
Checking, exporting, transferring money from PayPal to your bank account.
Just back and forth.
Yeah, just all day, sending myself money. If you want to get a hold of us, the email is thesuckhour at suckadelic.com. I just realized that I've been giving the wrong email out almost the entire time. Oh. Yeah, so that's probably why the fan mail is so thin. It's mostly the hate mail that gets through because people want to make the extra effort. You can find everything at suckadelic.com/suckhour. No the in this particular case. It's a little spotty, but yeah, you can find us on all those important methods of dissemination, and it's great. Before we really get into it, I have some details we have to cover before we pick this beautiful man's brain about the toy business. I want to give a special shout out to my man, the Crystal Pharaoh. I've been milking the shit out of his music since time immemorial. I've been trying to get him on the show, but he's too busy being Mr. Mom, and I haven't given this guy any money in so long, and he fucking shows up and DJs everything, and he hasn't got his dick or wallet sucked recently. So I want to give everyone a heads up to go to the Crystal Pharaoh's website, Visual Audio NYC, and purchase or listen to some of his fucking music because it's incredible. And if you've ever consumed a psychedelic product and it had music, the Crystal Pharaoh had something to do with it. So shout out to him as the sort of unofficial sponsor. We have a new sponsor. I think it's somebody you know. It's Discordia Merchandising.
Yeah,
you know that guy.
Yes,
you know
I do.
that guy.
Yeah, he's blogging for me.
Yeah, tenacioustoys.ninja.
Just tenacious.ninja.
How do you have a
.ninja?
How do you have a .ninja?
I don't know. I bought .ninja.
Really?
You can buy .ninja.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, there's all kinds of weird shit.
Everything?
Really?
Yeah, it's really weird. You can buy all kinds of weird shit, dude.
Like blowjob? Can I get that?
Absolutely, I bet.
There are triple X. You know, the triple X ones cost like $8,000 or something like that.
Why?
I don't know.
I was just gonna say, I bet you that shit's already taken too.
No,
because there's so much money in that.
Sucklord
they
blowjob.
can.
Is that a thing?
Sucklord dot.
I don't think there's dot blowjob. I mean,
Sucklord.rimjob. There's a dot Star Wars, right?
You just go to GoDaddy. There's a whole list of them.
Yeah. I'm surprised that that dot triple X thing is so expensive because you'd think they'd want all the porn
have
companies
more
to
money.
switch to that.
Well,
so
of course,
all
and the porn companies are going to switch to that, and they'll
not
pay the
for that
money.
kind of, I'm
Dude.
tired of the porn companies getting extorted all the time.
Oh,
They're getting shaken
wow.
down all the time. What?
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know how many times those people get busted? You know, there was a case where supposedly there was some stupid rule in California where they had to use condoms, and that's why they moved to Nevada.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, and then one of the porn sets got busted for not using condoms. Fuck out of here. This is America. Anyway, we're already off topic. But Discordia Merchandising, in exchange for a fucking cocksuck on my show, produced these 4 button sets. These incredible Suckadelic branded buttons. There's 16 buttons at all. Sucklord, Supervillain, Jerk of Art, Mary Papers, Toy Lords of Chinatown, Slee Stacks, Gay Empire, Dark Father, Sex, Drugs, Star Wars, Hip Hop. And these button sets are available on supersuckstore.com for a mere $19.99. You can have the whole fucking set, and you can show your pride for being a Sucklord fan. In fact, Discordia Merchandising has been so up my ass to get his fucking props that we actually have his stupid mission statement, J-Corp. So why don't you read that for us and let him know what's up.
Discordia Merchandising brings a new approach to developing limited release products with an emphasis on respecting each artist's intellectual property. Discordia Merchandising is now producing the Artist Series button displays as well as stickers and belts for indie businesses and bands. Find them at discordiamerchandising.com, discordiacultureshop.com, and read their blog posts about the designer toy scene at the Tenacious Ninja blog, which is the tenacious.ninja that we've just mentioned.
Okay, now let's a little background. You are the man. You are Tenacious Toys.
Yes.
What the fuck is Tenacious Toys?
It's an online designer toy shop.
Right. You've been doing this for how long?
I think 12 years now.
It sucks dick, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
I had toys are cool. Toys are swell. Selling toys is a living hell.
Yeah.
I sung that song at the DTAs a couple of years ago, and I wrote that line specifically with you in mind.
Oh, really?
Oh, I know how much you suffered.
You know, I mean, the
for
thing
this
is,
thing.
like, I don't want to. It's awesome. I mean, you're still doing it because
You didn't
love
come
toys.
here to bitch.
No, not at all. I mean, I wouldn't be doing it if I didn't love it. And it's just like you. You know, I mean, you keep killing yourself. You know, for I don't know how long you've been doing it. It's longer than me.
I put out my first toy in 2004.
Yeah, so you've just been fucking.
Yeah, but you're on the
yourself.
other side of things because I just make and sell my own shit. You deal with a zillion fucking vendors, right? You have to fucking deal with so much just stuff.
Well, it's easier for me to acquire product, and I make a smaller margin on it.
It's easier to acquire it than to sell it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, well, selling it's a whole.
Why did you choose to do this in the first place?
You know, we just stumbled on a key. I think we just ran across some toys.
What were you doing before this?
I was in real estate,
Okay.
Doing marketing, like desktop publishing, photoshopping,
Right.
fire hydrants out of luxury, condo facades and stuff.
You mean if someone was trying to sell a house and they wanted to
No,
show
I worked for a big company, so it was like a big fucking luxury apartments.
Oh, so if there was a fire hydrant in the photo, it was your job to Photoshop it out?
All kinds of stuff, yeah. Or like
That's false advertising.
no. Doesn't matter.
If I saw that there was no fire
Irrelevant.
hydrant in the photo, and then I went to buy an apartment there, and I saw that fucking fire...
You'd be mad there was a fire hydrant there?
Well, no, in case the building burned down, but, you
What's
know.
wrong with you?
Okay, whatever. And then, so you saw a key. You saw
Well,
this
I-
stupid little plastic bear with two...
Well, we went to FAO Schwartz, and we found a mislabeled, a mispriced 8-inch key, a Tim Biscup. And
Damn shame
bought
about
it for like
FAO
$17. Yeah.
FAO Schwartz
Yeah.
went out of business.
That's a
Can you
fucking
believe that?
bummer.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It's fucking sucks.
I mean, I've always loved that place.
Yeah, me too.
Even as an adult, it's just like,
you know,
holy shit, look at all this Lego.
Oh my god, the Playmobil there was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But okay, so you saw the key. That was the first designer toy you ever saw.
Yeah,
From Toy to R.
Yeah, Toy to R. And then we went to this. This is when Raymond Choi was shopping around an artist series of his little keys.
Okay,
And
that's the guy that invented the key?
Right, and he had a release party at Yo-Yo Mart, and me and Stuff went there, and we met people like
About
Voltaire.
what year
and
was
some-
this?
2003 maybe.
Right.
2004, maybe, something like
Yeah,
that.
the early days.
And then we sort of weaseled our way into Toy Fair. Back then, there were designer toys at Toy Fair.
Right, yeah, I remember
down
that.
in the basement. And we weaseled our way in, and we were able to buy stuff at wholesale, and then we had a shop. We
And
started-
it's always been an online shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
Except for like
do you regret it now?
being online only or starting it in general.
Just getting involved in it is hell to begin with.
I regret some things, but like, you know, the funny thing about running Tenacious Toys, I've learned a lot of shit that is actually useful outside the toy industry. So now I can sell my services to other people, will pay for what I've learned. You know, hustling toys is one of the hardest things you can do
Why?
because no one wants to fucking buy them. There's like 3 people that are collectors. There's
I
like
know.
3 collectors.
I know.
You know what people buy? Funko Pop.
I know. Does that make you want to kill yourself?
No, because I sell hundreds of them.
Oh, well then, okay. They saved your ass. They saved Lev's ass too. I
Hey
mean,
man,
they
yeah,
saved
Lev's
everybody's
like
ass.
all Funko all the time now,
Well,
right?
I mean, it's
His booth at Comic-Con is like a Funko booth.
Lev is magical in a way, and we shouldn't compare ourselves to him. But like he was having some trouble too with that space, and he turned it into a Funko store, and now he's fine.
You know, here's the thing. Like, I sell stuff like that, and I sell a bunch of them, and that allows me to also sell stuff like Alex Pardee pieces, or you know,
Weird shit.
your pieces.
You don't sell
know.
my shit.
Yeah, what do you mean? I've had
What are
exclusives.
you selling of mine? Oh,
Like right
those-
now?
Oh, you're still sitting on that same
No, I'm saying
Cylon
I
football
do
players?
sell psychedelic pieces.
Where do you get them from? Dove?
I did. Yeah.
Where's my check?
I don't know. You didn't Dove didn't pay you?
That's
Oh,
okay,
shit.
but also
Wait, sorry,
okay.
Dove.
No, it's fine. But I'm not finished sucking Discordia's dick yet. You have a relationship with this fellow. You have a blog.
Yes.
And you blog about toys.
Sure.
And you let this maniac write on your blog.
Yeah.
What does he have to say? Because this guy he's a feisty one.
He is feisty.
He-
He's feisty and industrious, and I respect
But
that.
he starts a lot of wars.
He does, and that's okay.
No, I love it.
It's
Because usually I'm the protagonist.
well, yeah. I mean, he likes you, but he's very fair. He's actually posting up all the different like Marsham, yours, and Blind Box podcasts. He posts them all up on the blog. Like he makes those blog posts, so he makes sure that everyone is covered. You know, everyone gets their.
He gets
their
into these
play.
flame wars with people on Instagram.
Yeah, I can't.
And invariably my name always gets dragged into it.
But he's defending you.
Well, it's not always about me. It's like usually he gets pissed off at people if he thinks someone is like biting someone else's idea.
Yeah,
or
that
something
seems
like
to
that.
be a major concern.
And
of
he
his.
sent me all these pages about, you know, appropriation and when it's okay to use other people's intellectual properties and when it's
Wait,
not.
was he concerned about you appropriating?
No, he was just talking about.
But you're like the king of appropriation.
No, but the thing is that people always use it against him because he's doing this button shit and he's got, you know, it's got my name all over his product. And, you know, people say like, oh, that's big talk coming from someone who fucks with the Sucklord, you know, a known privateer, you know, a known pirate. You know, you have a lot of nerve accusing me of ripping off somebody when you're friends with the Sucklord. I mean, whatever. I don't get involved.
For me
but-
personally, that's the downside of the toy industry is all these sort of armchair quarterbacks who have, they're like, oh, blah, 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 and they take issue with something that someone else says.
They're more like armchair assassins, man. I mean, these people got nothing. I mean, I like it. I enjoy it. I mean, I especially like it when one of these schmazooks decides to take aim at me and.
I mean,
cut
you've
me
seen
down.
everything at this point, so I mean,
hope
who the
not.
fuck cares?
I hope not. I hope I haven't seen anything. But we're gonna dissect all of this shit in a second. But before we get into that, we got a couple more things to discuss. I just wanted to make sure people knew who the fuck you were. So they're like, "Who's this
Yeah, I'm
beard,
Benny. I'm
beard
Benny.
thing sitting here
I'm
while
Benny.
we give our thing?" We got to read the donor list because we actually had a fairly decent run with the donations, and there's some big news in that department. We had a long list of donors this week. So, J Corp, if you want to read the names and the comments.
We have Artbot 138
Again.
Kia Fryer on a new automatic monthly donor.
Yes, person's giving like $1 a month.
Rodney Grove. Thanks for the show. Episode 12 was great. Love J Corp's point of view and her voice.
How do you like that, don't you?
I kind of do.
You've been getting your dick sucked a lot from this show, haven't
I
you?
know, a little bit.
Little bit.
People
I
like it when
recognize
she
me
reads
sometimes.
too.
Maybe. Okay. Go on.
Kevin Malone.
Again.
Thank you,
Guy's solid.
Kevin.
Guy's solid.
Jay O'Leary. Just paying my dues. Thanks for making a world for me. to show my art off. In much respect, J. Toothless Skullfist.
Okay, so this guy, he's some resin toy making guy in Boise, Idaho, who's been blowing up my fucking messages on Facebook, hitting me up on Facebook. How do I get involved in the scene? Let's do a collab. Put me in Toy Lords. Da-da-da. I feel bad for this kid because he lives in Boise fucking Idaho, and he's the only guy there, and he wants to get involved. And I was like, listen, man, I can't help you really. But he gave us $30, so I said I'd give him a shout out. J. Toothless Skullfuck, what's his name? Skullfist. Toothless Skullfist in Boise, Idaho. Check him out. He masters up Masters of the Universe with the Max. There's your $30, motherfucker. See how easy it is for $30. I fucking acknowledged his existence. So keep that in mind, everybody.
Maybe stunting on him though.
Yep, go on.
Kelsius Collins.
Good customer.
Kelly Roman.
He's the guy that did the Fisher Wallace device. He gave us some money, a nice chunk. Good guy. We're gonna have him on the show. Go on.
Renee Gonzalez. Tenacious Toys, also on new automatic monthly donor.
Hey, you $14.95 a month. You pledged to this
High
show.
five.
Why the fuck did you do that?
Because I start feeling bad when you start talking about how hungry you are at lunchtime. Like, honestly,
It worked.
It was like really, it's really depressing.
And you can afford that?
I know you're gonna come sign in my booth at Comic-Con.
If that's what it takes.
There you go.
I did that last year,
Yes, you did.
and it was successful.
Yeah. Well, I have pictures of you accepting money from people, so.
If that's all it takes, then thank you. And I'm going to pick your brain about the psychology of the donations a little later in the episode. Keep going.
Kevin Maley. I would love to hear how you put the Toy Lords of Chinatown together. Those episodes are a lot of fun to watch. Wish there was more.
Thank you. We are going to do a dedicated Toy Lords episode at some point when there's a new episode coming out. Of all the things that Suckadelic produces, that is the most difficult. There's so much production, so much organization, and it makes
Just trying to get the people together.
getting the people organized and just booking shit and just finding a few days, to just shoot, and it makes exactly $0. So it's always falling down on the priority list, and there's 3 more episodes that need to be done, and I hope to get that done before I'm dead, because I've got other shit to do. So everybody giving me money helps a lot, so thank you.
We have Kevin Malone.
Oh, well, yeah, he donated twice. In the interim. Oh, so good looking on you. He just told me, I just got a Snapchat from Kevin Malone saying that one of his homes was being foreclosed on. So, hey, I'm glad you got your priorities straight, buddy.
One of his homes?
I guess he had some shitty house. I don't know. He lives in Ohio.
Wow.
They do different out there.
Okay.
They're cash poor, but they have houses because no one wants to live there. Anyone else?
Last but not least, we have Ian Santer.
Oh yeah, another toy person. Great guy. Thank you, everybody. I want to thank all the donors. We didn't hit a record this time, but we got close, and I was actually able to give my cameraman $100. This guy's been busting his ass for fucking months on the show, and I think I've maybe given him $200 tops. So, keep it coming because I know this guy's loyalty only goes so far. Yay for all of us. And now I want to say that if you are interested in sponsoring the show, that basically means giving us something to pitch or pump or suck. We will do it for money or product. We'll take free beer. We'll take everything. You can hit me up at the Suckhour at suckadelic.com and tell me what you got and what it's worth for you, for me to lick your pussy, and we'll work it out. And if you want to make a donation, you can go to my website and you will see a new tab called Support, and I just started a Patreon account. That's right. Instead of giving directly to the show manually every month, you can sign up to be my patron on Patreon and just be automatically taxed every month. Do you know what Patreon is?
I've heard of it, and I know some of the artists are using it.
Yeah, it's
some of them very successful.
Yeah, it's a relatively new crowdfunding thing, and it's like Kickstarter, but instead of funding one project that has a beginning and an end, it's ongoing crowdfunding. Do you have a quote from the website? Or
I do. Patreon is a crowdfunding platform popular with YouTube content creators, musicians, and webcomic artists. It allows artists to obtain funding from their fans or patrons on a recurring basis or per artwork. This San Francisco-based company was started by musician Jack Conte and developer Sam Yam in 2013 and has been featured in Forbes, Billboard, and Time magazine.
Fantastic. So yes, we have a Suckadelic Patreon account, and if those of you that are serious about supporting this endeavor, you can go to my website, suckadelic.com/support, and you can watch the video that I made that pitches, makes the case as to why you should give me money. You watch the video.
It's an amazing video.
You like the video?
It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's it. We're gonna.
This guy's fucking asleep.
Yeah, we're gonna be hitting you up every fucking episode to just go to the Patreon account. But just in case that might be too much for you, there's still the donate button on the Suckhour page on suckadelic.com, and you can give money there. So you donated money to this show. Money fucking sucks. Money rules everything. It's like I keep coming back to it. It affects every single fucking creative move that I make, and I'm fucking sick of it. And I want just a big fat check so I can just do my shit. If you watch my Patreon video, you can see this just massive list of ambitious things.
It's very well done, the video.
Yeah, I have so many things I want to do that aren't toy related, from movies, television, dirty movies,
Just creating cool shit.
all kinds of shit that I can't, and I need fucking money. So you're giving me essentially $15 a month of your hard-earned money for some inexplicable reason. Do you do this a lot? Do you give a lot of?
Fuck no.
Just me. Just me.
Yeah.
Why is this so important? Why would one do that? Because I would
look,
never.
I mean,
ever do
as
that.
weird as this sounds, I feel, even though you seem to be unaware of the fact that I've been selling some of your pieces here and there, we have had a business relationship for quite a long period of time.
Right.
So we know each other. We live in the same town. We see each other at every fucking event. I like what you do. You're creative. You put out new shit all the time. You're ambitious, and I want to help you out.
Why?
And maybe I can like curry some favor, and you'll do some shit for me in a little while.
Okay, so that's it. There's always some self-interest.
Yeah. Well,
On the
later on
back
down
end.
the line, I'm gonna fucking hit you up, and you'll fucking do something for me.
I'm imagining.
But you did actually make me. You made my wife an action figure already.
Right.
Which probably had a value of a lot of money. So
I have no idea how to Did you pay me for that?
no.
Oh, because you helped me with my website.
Yeah.
I was trying to figure out how to do Squarespace, and and I was really.
And
I found it
and
really
I didn't
hard.
help. I didn't help you at all.
Well, no, I mean, eventually, but you met with me like maybe 3 or 4 times and just helped me figure out what
Worked
to do
through
about
some
my
shit,
website.
yeah.
You helped me with get my Shopify thing
Yeah.
together,
And I liked it so much that I started my own Shopify. I'm on Shopify now, and I did one for Big Shot Toy Works too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well then
Yeah,
that's
I
all
dig
working
it.
out fine.
Yeah.
Supersuckstore.com if you want to buy any of my products, by the way. You can be a member on Patreon and donate money to the cause and still buy products. Simple as that. You know, it's like, I mean, it's funny. You do set up some sort of expectation or obligation. I mean, this is all like quid pro quo. You suck my dick, I'll suck yours.
Like my donation to you?
Well, just in general. You know, it's like, you know,
I'm paying it forward.
Do you think it's so? I mean, it's legit to go out there and beg for money as an artist, right?
Look, man, every business goes out and begs for money. Whether it's like going to a bank and begging the bank for money, I actually think it's a little bit more respectful to get money from people that know you, that like you. I've been in the banks, many of them, trying to get more loans for the business.
Don't give a shit.
They're like, you know, screw you, and it's demoralizing. But you know, if you're creating things that I like, why would I not help out in a small way? I mean, the cool thing about something like that is if you get 200 people donating like $2 a month.
It's not enough to buy me a new
Look,
life,
man,
but
it's building
it's built
towards something.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, that's fun. I have never even remotely even considered attempting going to get a bank loan for this joke of a company. I mean,
I tried for mad times and they always denied me.
I would not give you a loan, just ever. No offense,
You
but
know,
it's just like you're. You know,
Well, I
it's
mean, I
like,
didn't go dressed like this, you know.
even in a suit, I would. I mean, no offense, because I think you're brilliant, but I just like I do not necessarily see a return coming.
Well, the banks don't either.
No, but the thing is, what's great about these kind of things is you could just sell people on dreams. You know, Whereas like with a bank, you got to actually go with a fucking business plan and show how you're going to make the money back. You don't have to make any of this money back at all.
Well, you can't really have that attitude 100%. You need to give these people something. You need to entertain them. You need to do something.
Yeah, but
fun
those
for
are
them.
intangibles.
I mean, you are putting out this whole fucking show for free.
Yeah.
So I mean, like right there.
Well, it costs you $14 a month.
Well, I mean, I could knock that back if it's like a fucking.
Hey, if you
it's a
cancel that,
thing.
I'm gonna know. You're in this for life, buddy. You're in this for life, buddy. But I mean, it's true. You can't like. It's great because the rewards are somewhat intangible. You know,
Yeah.
I tried to emphasize that in my video that like I'm not really gonna sit there and give this long itemized list of like for this amount of money you get this, and this. I left it nebulous on purpose. Just because really at the end of the day, you're just paying for this to exist.
Yeah.
Because you want it to be in the world, and if you get a fucking thank you gift, you're welcome. But it's not really about that. It's not about giving you some kind of fucking spreadsheet that's going to show you what your returns on your investment are going to be. Fuck you. I would be dead if I had to depend on that.
You ever think about putting a list of those patrons with their permission, like behind you as you're filming? You know, just so it's like, oh yeah, I'll put you on fucking screen, like just a list. Like,
Would that get them to give more money?
Possibly, yeah.
I mean,
like that's one of the things with me. So like we're talking about, oh, what are you gonna do for me? You know, oh, do I have to fucking do something? Yeah, maybe if I'm doing a project, maybe you could just put a toy right there and just have it sit there.
did you bring anything for me to endorse?
No, because I'm not gonna like just throw something at you. I'd arrange it with you.
You can do that.
Okay.
No, but I mean, I guess you have to. I sort of figure out like who gets what. I mean, some people might want to remain anonymous, and some people might want to be.
You would have
heralded.
to ask them. You have a list of them, right?
Well, I haven't just started it, so it's like I currently have no. As of the airing of this show, I have no patrons. So I'm gonna start the promotion later. You know, like tomorrow. But you know, this airs like after. I don't know. Like by the time we go back and redo this show 3 weeks from now, I don't know what the story's gonna be. I set my goal at $5,000 a month.
That'd be sweet.
Does that sound ridiculous?
No, that's like rent in this fucking place.
Yeah, but do you think it's crazy to actually have people to make that much money off of just a bunch of
Dude, if
rubes?
anyone in this industry can do it, it's like you or it's Huck G or it's one, you know.
Why do you put me and Huck G in the same sentence?
Because everybody knows who you are.
Okay, fine. Fair enough. But they got to get
Don't do it
something.
again.
No, I like Huck G. I mean, just because like one of the things I got inspired from was when I first started doing the show, he went on Adventures in Design.
Yeah.
And just basically told everybody that how fucking broke he was. Like he was saying something like he was 50 grand in the hole at one point, and he, you know, and it's like nobody ever talks about that shit most of the time. There's this sort of either people are trying to keep up appearances, or there's this sort of macho thing, or just like people are afraid that their credibility or their success is going to be called into question if they confess that they're fucking struggling.
Yeah, I mean, I feel two ways about it. You're either super honest with people and you're like, here's where I'm at. I have no money. I need your help. I want to keep making this shit. Please help me. Then there's the other side of it where like you sort of straddle both sides. You come on and you're like, yo, I'm like a fucking superstar. What's up? And it's like, but I don't have superstar money. Like, basically, I smell when I'm hungry.
Just knows how to finesse it, you know?
You know, I mean, it's like, you can't ride both those. Well, maybe you can, but most people can't play both sides of that. You have to pick one. And, you know, you probably shouldn't tell people that you're broke. I mean, I'm not broke. I work.
You have a
make
job
money.
besides this Tenacious Toy
Sure,
shit.
I have a bunch of them. And that's what I have to do to pay for it.
What's weird about this, I don't know about the art world, you know, per se, you know, I mean, I can only conjecture, but the toy thing is just this interesting. There's not that many people that make a lot of noise back there. There's not that many people who make designer toys as a living, as their primary job.
Very few.
Very few. I managed to pull a lot of creaking chair. There's been a lot of something funny.
Yeah.
What?
The fact that you get just the little creaking, you're like it just sense it.
Dude, when I sit there and edit this shit with the headphones, I hear all the fucking ambient noise and I want to kill myself. It's just like, I don't know if I would even listen to this shit because there's so much sirens and hums and farts, and when you're chopping onions, I can hear the whole fucking thing. It's just like, I don't know if it's a sonically, tight thing. I mean, we're shooting in this fucking echoey ass art studio with the fucking entire universe rolling by.
I don't know. It always sounds pretty good when I listen.
Okay, you listen to it? You don't watch it?
I watch it.
Oh well, yeah, but you have headphones on. Like if I
was
was
blasting it out of my fucking giant speakers.
okay, I'll take that. I mean, it's like this. I think this the crowdfunding thing and just like the being upfront about like trying to do your creativity as a business is very difficult. And it fucks up. It's not good business, and it can harm your creativity. I mean, I remember just making so many lame things because I was just trying to shovel shit out the door. And I think it's not necessarily a tenable business model. And I think having patronage, like they did back in the day, back in the Renaissance day, when you would just fucking paint and some family would own you. Of course, you had to paint whatever they wanted, but it was mostly Jesus shit. But, it's like I just think like coming clean about, hey, if you want to be a fan of this shit, it takes more than just buying my toy every month. You really got to buy into this shit. Like you can have this too, right? Are you going to do one?
Oh yeah, probably.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
maybe.
everybody's going to have one. You, right?
I should start
I've
one.
been
Just be like, give
thinking
me
about it all
fucking
day.
money. I'll do
Show me
cool
that
shit.
video, man. I'm just thinking, damn, man, that was so edited so well, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, Tim did that.
How can I start?
Roaming Studios, he's available. Give him
I'm
work.
not gonna wear
really.
no turtleneck though.
Well, everybody's got their own style.
No, but I'm telling you, it was incredible.
But I'm just saying, I think like as a model, like going forward, like the toy business is struggling right now. Even Kid Robot was in the toilet for a while. Like supposedly this unstoppable juggernaut was in the shit heap. It's like, you gotta get more money somehow.
Yeah.
And I think just being straight up about the fact that you need help is probably a better way to go
Well,
than
I think
trying to put on a brave face.
I think it's also really important if you're doing a bunch of projects and you do want to make this sort of financially viable, you should get smart about money.
How do you do that? Was that even
Read,
mean?
learn.
Help me.
Help. You want some help right now.
Yeah, if you just knowing what you know about what I'm doing, what am I doing wrong? How can I make it better?
I would have to look at your, like, literally what it costs for you to make something.
Am I stupid because I have this studio?
No, you're creative.
It's really expensive.
Yeah.
I could probably move way up to Washington Heights and cut my rent by $1,000 or more.
Yeah, maybe.
Should I do that?
I can't answer that for you. Your identity is tied into Chinatown.
Thank you. Is that important?
As far as I can tell, that's part of the brand.
Right. And do you think people would come visit my studio if I was living on 107th Street?
No.
I mean, I would.
Yeah, but you live up there.
No,
No.
we won't be friends anymore.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I just think like being accessible is important for my business. And I don't know. I just like I've saddled myself with a rather large monthly bill for my rent, and all common sense. Anybody that was a businessman would be like, move, go somewhere where the rent is less. And foolishly, I don't do that because that's like one thing that I just sort of refuse to compromise on. My solution to that is, well, figure out how to make more money, asshole.
Is all this shit for sale?
Yeah, you want to buy something?
Look, do you have organized, like, open houses?
Not organized, but
So fucking organized.
no, but I mean, I have an open house policy where it says on my website.
No, dude. You can't do it like, oh yeah, you should come by or whatever. No, be like, okay, are you here Friday nights? More or less.
I'm here all the time.
Okay. You set up recurring like Facebook events, and you're like, everyone's fucking invited Friday night from 6 to 9. You can come. Like,
What if no one shows up?
You're an idiot. Forsyth Street is right there.
Yeah, I know.
So My Plastic Heart's right up there.
That's true.
Anytime they have a show, it could be like, okay, so we're gonna hit up My Plastic
So
Heart,
I
and then we're
should
gonna
just
hit up.
be like a mosquito on My Plastic Hearts.
I'm telling you to set specific hours in the week where you're like, I'm here. We have this shit to sell. Like, literally, set up a Facebook event, take a picture of that wall, and be like, all the shit's for sale. We're open 6 to 9. Cash. Do you have swipe? Can you swipe credit cards?
Can swipe my dick, yeah. Yes, I have ways of collecting money from people
Yeah.
in a number of
So just
ways.
invite people over. Be like, you should even, you have little things. You could be like, yo, if you bring me a beer, I'll give you like a little suckle figure for free, or some shit, or bring me a 6-pack or something like that, and invite them over, and they can buy a piece, and
Do exclusives.
whatever, anything. It's just like, so you
Have some sexy girls
you
flouncing
have,
around.
dude, yeah, anything. You have the spot.
J-Corp.
You have the spot. The open house policy is not specific enough. You need like, this is when my shop is open. We're here. I'm selling shit, and we're partying from 6 to 9 on Friday nights. Every Friday night. You set up these Facebook events. You invite fucking people. You put it on your website. You make it known.
That's a good idea, because I do just sort of have it open, like it's just make an appointment and come by, and people do,
And that's
they
cool.
do.
That's
But
cool.
people aren't smart enough, or it's like it requires a certain amount of initiative on the individual to decide he wants to come and take that volition to actually call me and do the thing.
If you set the time and the date of the event, other people are going to know that there's going to be other people there. And that is an incentive for them. So they can all get together and they can jam about toys and bullshit and do whatever.
The scene in New York City, how would you describe it? The toy scene.
I mean, it's pretty, it's chaotic. I mean, there's a lot of shit happening.
Who are the main New York toy guys?
Well, okay, so Kid Robot closed and Giant Robot closed. So now we got My Plastic Heart, and your place is right down the street from there. And I don't know, there's
Toy
Pick,
Tokyo.
Toy Tokyo. There's Pick in Grand Central that sells designer
Is
toys.
that part of the scene?
I've thrown a show there.
Yeah, that's right. You have
2 shows.
and I had shit in there.
Yeah.
I actually just got a check from them yesterday for $62.50.
Sweet.
Or $62.47.
Yeah, buy some burritos, man.
I got so exact.
Yeah.
You get those.
That buys a
weird
lot of
checks.
Taco Bell, dude.
Right. Well, no. I mean, you're right. You gotta be firing.
Dude,
on all
if
sorts.
the scene is disjointed, then it's up to you to pull it together.
I mean, the thing is, I don't even know if I'm even on the toy scene. It's like,
Are you fucking retarded?
yes, but
You made the toy scene.
no, I haven't.
You started mashing shit up as early as any of
That's
these
the
other
bootleg
people.
scene.
What? And they're not toys? Are they collectibles?
Yes, but I guess what
You're splitting hairs. This is absurd.
Well, no, but I mean, it's like this is market research. It's like I have not what I do has no overlap with Kid Robot.
False.
False?
Yeah.
Why?
Because people who collect Kid Robot also collect your pieces.
No, they collect those round.
Kid
lumpy,
Robot has
cute
put
things.
out pieces that
Round
from you.
lumpy cute.
I do have. I have one. I made
You're
two,
like
two
you're,
done.
you're
one
like
done.
you're orbiting Jupiter. I don't know what the fuck you're
Yeah,
thinking.
and everybody else is down to earth. That's the problem. It's just like the market for what I do is so fucking specific and
Yeah.
narrow. You know, it's just like I don't, and it's just it has to be built, but I don't even know if like the designer toy world is like really where those people are gonna come from. Most of those people fucking hate me.
Whatever. It doesn't have to be the designer toy people. It's like artists, funky shit,
Yeah, like
weird stuff.
Weird stuff. Put
Yeah.
on a spectacle, have a salon, a weekly salon.
Just do a Facebook event and say,
How do you make a Facebook event? Will you do it for me?
dude, will you help him with that, please, or something?
I gotta pay the
I'll-
bitch.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Good.
I'll do it. You know what? Me and Gabrielle from Discordia, we'll set that shit up for you.
How about this? You help me flesh this shit out because you have good ideas. That's why you're here. I was desperate, and that's why I called you in because I need a smart.
I knew you didn't want to fucking talk to me.
No, I do. You're an interesting guy. I mean, I was having trouble actually figuring out who would be appropriate guests to sort of cover these topics. And I was going through my list, and because your name starts with B, it was
I was
close,
early.
close to the
Awesome,
top.
sweet.
Yeah.
Great.
But
That's fantastic.
it's just like it's like I've gotten to the point with my business where like any sensible person would have shut down.
Yeah.
Like I'm like 4
Me
months
too.
behind rent on both my apartment and my
No,
studio.
I'm not.
Well, okay, but I mean, it's like that doesn't scare me because it's all positivity, baby. But it's like any sensible business person would have already declared this a failure, and closed down.
Well, this is not a sensible business.
No, it's not sensible at all, and that's why it follows its own metrics. But I do need smart guys like you.
Well, look, I mean, it's all about looking at like what assets do you have that are of interest to people. So the space is expensive, but you need to take advantage of it and milk it for every fucking dollar that you're spending every month by making it make more money for you. And all I'm saying is, if you make a thing, just if you can come up with one interesting thing that's new that you can show people each week, just a new print, a new figure. People can pre-screen the raw footage of this show.
Do you want to team up on something?
Sure.
Because also, if it's every single... if we're
Can I do a
this,
toy release here?
Yeah.
Sweet.
So, that's a thing. It's
even if you're not involved in the toy
release?
release?
We'll just say... No, we'll just say, maybe... Yeah, no, of course,
Because
yeah.
this is touchy now.
No, because it's the thing is, if we can make a scene where it's just, every... I don't know if every fucking Friday, maybe, every month, a monthly thing.
Sure, once a month.
Once a month, we can marry it to the Plastic Heart show, so we can get all the overflow from them, and we can
because people are coming in.
Yeah, it's up the block, and we can siphon, and they're all gonna want an after party, and this is where more salacious shit can happen. Can happen there. But the thing is, every single fucking thing that happens here doesn't specifically have to be a psychedelic thing. If we wanted to get other people like yourself or different artists that wanted to do a little,
some waste of talent.
Yeah, wasted talent thing comes out. It's people can come, they can buy that.
Yeah, what if people come in and they pay $15 and he caters some shit and he has enough food to feed 20 people, and so 20 people come in, pay $15 and it's $300, and allow him to pay for the food and the prep work and then split the profit after that. And Periscope the whole thing,
ideas.
Or video it, or whatever.
Ideas.
You got assets. You got someone who cooks. You got a cool location.
Yeah. So if you wanted to do a toy release here and just put out something exclusive, or even do a fucking sale, or even have a fucking Friday night fucking fire sale, and you're gonna dump all your dead stock for reduced rate, you can give me a little percentile of that, and just by getting people to come in here and they can look at my bullshit and maybe buy some of it. And maybe we'd be fucking in business, cause
Yeah, you make it a thing.
It
becomes a thing.
Making a thing. Well, it's just it's so funny because we've talked about a lot of this stuff with other people in the business, Lev, and just talking about what's really the motivation for people to do this shit. And it's I don't know how much of it, what percent of it is just actually having the object,
No, dude.
I waited online for 5 hours and spent $50 for this piece of plastic. Now it's just in my medicine cabinet.
At least 50% of the appeal is being a part of the scene. Going somewhere, hanging out with someone cool, having fun conversations. Yeah, I picked up his piece. Yeah, I got this guy's piece. Oh, I'll trade you for that one. I got doubles. Does anyone
this piece would probably be more meaningful if you had some sort of personal memory that went along with it.
Well, certainly buying that piece here, I think, would be more. Do they sell that themselves?
Who, this
Kid Robot?
This is the pink.
Is that a bootleg?
No, this is a real Kid Robot product. Can you believe it?
Yes.
Can you believe it?
This is a real Kid Robot product that I did. When did I do this? 2013 or something. Everybody on the message board is I don't want a Suckadelic Dunny. Fuck that asshole. But they made this Overmaster Supreme. It was the pink sort of Darth Vader looking thing, and this was the chase piece in the in the case. And I have 2 left. If anybody wants to send me an email at store@suckadelic.com.
Or you come to the next open house.
Come to the next open house, and not only can you have this very difficult to find important artifact, but you can get it from me, and I'll put my DNA on it.
Okay.
I will contact some part of my intimate body with with the object, and then you can take that home and rub it on your
and then
wife,
wash it, and then put it on your shelf.
Name the child after me. It's fine. So that's great advice. So now, okay, that's official. We're gonna do this.
Good.
When's the next show at My Plastic Heart?
I don't know.
I thought you were in charge of this shit.
Fuck, dude.
You're in this for life, man. What else do you want to talk about? What's gonna happen next? The toy
in the toy scene.
Is that? People bother me all the time that I talk about asshole too much and not enough about toys. So I'm trying to talk about toys.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay. Yeah. What do I want to talk about? I don't know. Let's talk about how we're gonna fucking
Get rich.
take this shit over and fucking.
Well,
make
there's
fucking awesome.
something needs to happen. But the thing is, I don't know. It's like I don't. It's a weird line for me to walk because it's like I don't necessarily consider myself to be necessarily like tied in with the fate of the designer toy world. It's like I consider myself my own entity,
Sure.
and it's like I don't care what these people.
As do I.
fucking, Yeah,
I mean,
don't
I
give a-
sell
Well, you're
like
a
I
little
sell
bit, but
mass
the-
market shit just like I sell designer toys. So
Yeah, okay, but I mean, it's like because you're a retailer, you have to. You're a little bit more invested in the fate of this thing as an entity.
Yeah.
It's like you're like people who
I have
buy.
an interest in making everything really fucking cool and people enjoying it and following it.
But you also have an interest in everybody sort of playing nice together, having there be some level of compatibility.
Well, yeah, because I mean, like, my own personal feeling is Discord means lost sales. So when you get like a whole bunch of people talking shit about you, they're not going to buy any shit from you. Well, I don't know. Maybe when people talk shit about you, they're actually your customers. Is that true?
I mean, I'm on my own planet, so it's like I don't necessarily think like I listen to the Marsham Toy Hour podcast about toys. It's very good. My friend Tyler Ham is on there, but I got to be honest with you. A lot of the stuff they talk about, I just don't give a shit. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
It's like I mean, I don't feel connected to that world in any way. I don't necessarily feel like the people that follow those other toy artists are interested in my shit. I don't even know if I like matter in the bootleg toy world. It's like everybody wants to buy jokes. They want to buy funny jokes. And I'm making serious art.
You see how serious he looked.
Do you think that's a joke to you?
The way you were looking at me, yeah. You were trying to be real serious.
Serious.
Right
I'm just
Am I
just,
funny to you?
It's just
What's
so
there. Foot now.
it's just weird, like this idea that there's some sort of scene, I think is sort of not true in a way. It's like, I mean, it's so disparate. It's just like you can just lump it all together and just think that it's all relatable or translatable somehow. And I don't.
But
think
it's all like
is.
it's all like art adjacent.
Is this art?
You just said it was art.
It's art with a lowercase a.
So
Not art with a capital A.
why does art always have to be a fucking capital, like cursive script, like Old English A?
Because then there's a couple of zeros at the end of the price tag.
Okay, so you should start doing some of that shit.
Well,
How are you at oil painting?
I can't do any of that
Yeah.
shit. That's the reason why I make
No zeros for
bootleg
you.
toys. Well, do you see some of the shit that passes? I mean, ever since Duchamp signed that urinal, I was
Yeah.
in business.
Ever since Warhol started printing... Oh, wait, Kid Robot.
Kid Robot, what?
Kid Robot, Warhol. Do you know they're putting
Kid
out
Robot,
Warhol?
Yeah, Kid Robot is
Warhol
making
done? Yeah.
Warhol
Yeah.
things.
Is that not legitimate art?
It's art merchandising. I don't know if
What did Warhol do?
I don't know. I'm never really feeling it, to be honest.
you don't
It doesn't
like
matter
Warhol.
if you're feeling it or not. It's the concept is carrying over, and
I
that's
don't know.
it.
I still don't get it to this day. A Campbell's soup can? Like,
You don't get that?
no.
It's repeating an icon over and over because you recognize it, and it has meaning to most, Americans or humans or whatever. And you repeat it over and over, and then it becomes,
Icon.
it takes on meaning that is above and beyond like the product.
Sure, and it's also about taking sort of a pedestrian item and sort of elevating it into
Right. And the
an art
absurdity of
space.
doing that.
Yeah, the absurdity
It's
or the
absurd.
gall of doing that.
Like worshiping a pedestrian item.
Yeah, and it's about consumerism and it's about commodification. I mean, it's what's fascinating about it is we could actually sit here and extrapolate meaning out of that thing all fucking day and maybe never even come close to what his intention was, which is probably just to be like, fuck you, you guys are idiots.
But do you not see a direct correlation between Warhol's work with the Campbell's soup can and your work with the chow mein noodles?
Yes.
Do you not
of
see a
course.
direct
Yeah.
line
Yeah,
in
sure.
the objectification of the commodity? Really, that's
Or the
like,
commodification of the objectivity.
yeah, or whatever the fuck it is.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's like it's difficult to be original in that field, when it's already been
The
done.
whole thing
but
about that is it's not original. You're like,
there's an action figure
noodles
attached to it.
Yeah, Well, okay.
There's a
great.
toy attached to it,
Right.
and the toy has nothing to do with the
And
thing.
the toy, have you or have you not reproduced that toy in multiples, in many different colors, over and over?
Yes.
Oh, just like what artist? Oh, Warhol?
I'm not. Yes, I'm not. But I'm not. When I'm sitting there, I'm not thinking, oh, would Andy Warhol?
What I'm
do?
trying to say is, you were
Huh?
saying.
Neither was he. He wasn't sitting there sort of contemplating the theory behind what his work was. He saw that there was a potential to actually make something out of multiples, and I think more than anything it was the multiple that pushed him over. He's a great artist otherwise, great videographer, but really it's the he opened up the possibility of multiples in several different fields, in prints, in objects, in meaning, right? In just simply attaching meaning to now what we used to be multiple and bland is now meaningful, and every time it is reproduced, meaning is added to the icon and the image. So for you, like this, in your case, the chow mein is now also chow mein with action figure.
Right. I mean, it's true. It's like I think like the idea of repetition with variation is like a thing that makes pop art what it is, and it applies to like the toy game too, with like the whole colorway thing. It's just like here's the same thing in a zillion different fucking colors, and somehow the repetition of it is appealing to people, or it drives it in, or it just something. I don't know what something.
Well, when you
You just like soup.
Well, when you repeat it a
That's
bunch of
true.
times, listen, if you make a bunch of them, you can then sell a bunch of them. It's brilliant. Instead of just selling one piece, you can now sell, let's say
10.
a dunny, you can sell 10,000.
I would love to sell 10,000 of anything.
I'm just saying, it's like you could sell 10 prints or 100 little bootleg action figures, or 1,000, vinyl toys, or 10,000 dunnies. I mean, it's so you're like, where's this fucking thing going? And I'm saying it's not going somewhere. It's still in this progression, which started out probably even pre-Warhol, but like Warhol was very widely known even during his own time.
Of course.
It's still been going since then. The fact that we work in the toy field is almost just sort of like, that's sort of like just a detail. It's like we're working in artist multiples, both of us.
Yeah.
I'm selling them, you're making them. I mean, I see it as a direct continuation of artists like pop art, like Warhol.
Right, but
really
I mean,
do.
just by Kid Robot making making dunnies based on Warhol's most popular shit. I mean, how does that help anybody?
Well, it helps me because I buy them and sell them at a profit.
But I mean, as far as as a experience, or as a viewing or consuming experience, can I have another Blue Moon? in the can?
you mean specifically that specific Dunny series?
Yes.
The reason that
Well,
one
because
is cool,
that's
that one's cool because all of us, that's cool for our scene, because all of a sudden people who have not collected Dunnies, Warhol collectors and fans, are now collecting Dunnies because it's another product that's officially
okay, but
licensed.
how does it make I mean, I'm just saying, like, obviously, we're all going to just agree that Andy Warhol making a silk screen of a Campbell soup can and hanging it up, framing it and putting it on the wall is an important art exercise. It's a meaningful art
Sure.
expression. But let's just assume, that's to take that as a given. But then say, on building on that, how does taking the Warhol Campbell soup, and putting it on a blank platform toy enhance the experience of the original artwork? Is there some is it improving upon, or what is it just crass merchandising thing, or is it carrying the conversation forward?
Before you heard that Kid Robot was doing a Warhol Dunny series, did you think about Warhol very much?
Yeah, it's in my face every day.
Warhol's in your face every day.
I mean, yeah, or just like everyone seems to say, "Oh, you're the next Andy Warhol."
Oh,
so,
okay,
yeah,
well,
I mean,
maybe you specifically.
I don't know if I
but,
agree
okay,
with that.
Let me just say,
it's kind of
me as a person who isn't compared to Warhol on a daily basis, I hadn't been thinking about Warhol that much. I think about other artists. There's lots of other cool artists that are doing cool ass shit. All of a sudden, I'm thinking about Warhol again, and we're talking about Warhol, and we're discussing what Warhol did. I think it was early in my life, or before I was born. Early in my life, 80.
When did those soup cans come out? Like 1960, something like that?
Yeah. So that was before I was born. So now I'm talking about an artist who's putting out work before I was born, and that artist is now even more relevant to my life.
Why? Because it's on a fucking dunny?
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
But also, what is the difference between that and your relationship with Star Wars?
Repetition of iconic objects.
Not to say that it's identical, but I think there's a lot of similarities between when brands work with the icon of the soup can versus when artists also use images, like for example from Star Wars.
I mean, the bucket, the soup can, the helmet is your soup can.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the pink stormtrooper is my Campbell soup can.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess. I mean, fuck. I feel.
Further the conversation of Star Wars via your bootlegs.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't necessarily think, even when I make work that has a Star Wars element, which is a lot of my work, it's not specifically about Star Wars. I'm not talking about Star Wars. I'm using the sort of symbols and the language of Star Wars to make some other statement, whatever that may be. Which isn't the same thing as being like a gay Empire figure isn't about the Empire. It isn't about Stormtroopers. It isn't about Star Wars. It's not even necessarily about gay. I don't venture to say what it really is, but it's basically taking something that people have an association with and putting it in a different context and trying to draw out some sort of other meaning or other conclusion separate from the source material. Like Andy Warhol's.
Brilliant idea.
Tell us.
Pink G.I. Joes.
I did that already.
Oh, you did? What about the army guys? Like the ones with the melted bottoms?
Oh, you want to do that? Knock yourself out.
No, I don't want to. I think it's a brilliant idea for you to.
I've done Army Man things. I did the Creature Army Man. No, not Pink. I did a Don't Ask, Don't Tell Cobra Crimson Guard figure.
You know what? Like the old school, not the G.I. Joes, like the
the
army guys
the
with the
Green
little
Army Man.
flat
I made like a
bottoms
Creature
and
the
shit.
Black Lagoon one of that. I've done that, but yeah, okay, I'll take that in consideration, and I'll give you like 2%. I mean, I don't even think the Warhol soup can is about Campbell soup. It's not about tomato soup.
No, it's about consuming it in a different way.
But it's also
Visual
it could also just be appreciating the aesthetic of the design of the soup can. I mean, the Campbell soup
all
can
of
is a
these things.
beautiful object. It's like I even think like if you look at like package design and appreciate it as a piece of fine art, you're sort of doing a Warhol. Because up until that point, advertising, I don't know, but it was considered to be sort of disposable or throwaway or just consumed and discarded and not elevated. And it's sort of elevating commercial art to a level of fine art, which continues to this day. I'm just saying, like, just making a dunny of it seems like somewhat crass and derivative way to just cash in without necessarily advancing. Not to say that I wouldn't do something crass and derivative to make money, but I just don't know if it's necessarily. I mean, I guess you could extend like, the toy world has a lot of things to do, or has with the sampling of pop culture and the reinterpretation and the remixing is akin to Warhol, but just like putting a Campbell soup logo on a dunny and being Andy Warhol, is that high art, or is that just like a marketing thing?
Marketing, straight up.
Well, it's a Uniqlo doing the collaboration with Cause, right? I mean, it's not.
I don't care what anybody says. It's marketing, straight up. Get money.
Okay, but
That's exactly what it is.
You think the cost?
Well,
thing?
I mean, it's a business. I mean, they're in business
Right.
to make money, right?
It's not as if they went in with the intention of like, hey, let's talk about this soup can and recontextualize this image through the body of a dunny. They're just saying, hey, this soup can is a cool idea. Let's just stick it on this thing and see how that rolls. And most of the time, these objects are created, and then the talk follows. You don't sort of like set out the context for the piece and the conversation to follow from the conception of the idea. It's sort of that comes after, I think. Not so much as the responsibility of the creator to.
You mean the meaning comes after?
Right, or rather, like the reading of it. You can't really tell people how to read your work. You can't really tell people how to read whatever idea that was had been come up with. So the dunny with the soup can. It's not as if like, I'm sure talk will come, and it does sound sort of a little bit banal, but the conversation must follow the creation of the piece rather than you can't contextualize it from birth.
Yeah, but we're having that conversation now. We're trying to.
Yeah, that's what I was going to
Right.
say. It's already a successful concept.
Of course, it's successful because Andy Warhol is popular. Dunnies are popular. You put two popular things together, most of the time you end up with something that's going to be popular, right? Unless it's
Sometimes.
and like Incredible Hulk, Jello pops.
And I just saw something on TV like the Aero car, airplane and car. No, that shit fucking sucks.
What is it?
And like Aero cars, there's been a bunch of people that have mashed up a car and an airplane,
And it really
and
flies?
it doesn't fly well and it doesn't drive well.
Yeah, no,
There's
that's
been- you know, I
that's
mean, it's
true.
like two great things, right?
Yeah,
Doesn't
like,
always work out.
chocolate and peanut butter works out great.
Yeah.
But those two things are really different. I just think like, I mean, I'm not again. I mean, I think at the end of the day, you're right that like a dunny with Andy Warhol shit is probably good for the toy scene because it gets people that are coming from a more art world orientation
I was
to
gonna
look at
say,
this
it
world.
probably would.
In that way, it works, and sure, it's like cute, it's funny, it's like it works on a superficial level.
So their
So why
next
the fuck
one,
not?
their next one is by a guy named Otto. I think it's Bjornik.
Yeah,
It's a chess set.
I've heard about this.
Okay. So now we're not talking about Warhol. We're talking about an old, globally accepted game, globally played game, right?
I love chess. I lose all
Why?
the time
Why
on the
is
airplane.
that?
but-
Why is that more or less legitimate as a form of art than a Warhol dunny, a chess set dunny, a Warhol dunny? Why is one greater than the other?
I mean, I'm not asserting that one is greater than the other.
This is a company that has a platform toy,
Right.
and it behooves them to place lots of interesting things on it.
And I think that's
what
great.
they
I
do.
mean, what I love about the concept of a platform, and like my platform is the blister card. And it's like, you know, it's like it's a figure, a graphic, a name, and a backstory all in one package. And what I'm attempting to do is just push it in as many weird fucking directions as possible. Oftentimes directions that seem counterintuitive or don't make sense. Like there's no reason why there should be a chow mein Micronaut. But in my world there is. And that's what I'm trying to do. So, you know, I think it's perfectly legit that they make a Dunny chess set because Dunnies are universal and Dunny is everything and chess is a thing. So
That's the thing that makes
that's
art.
fucking awesome idea.
yeah.
That's what makes art interesting to me is the discovering the unexpected. So when you make those connections between these two really fucking weird things that aren't related and you put them together,
and you have you can
that's-
justify it somehow.
it doesn't need to be justified. It can be completely retarded.
It could be the.
And then you're like,
I like to
you're
have
like, wow,
some
that's
reason, as
like weird as
convoluted
fuck.
as it may
I mean,
be.
like, so any of your pieces. All right, so picture this: someone has a nice home with real art.
I've heard there are people like that out there.
I'm not trying to be demeaning, but when someone would place like that big gay empire figure up there, every time they have a new visitor to their house, that new visitor is going to walk over there and be like, what the fuck is this?
That's the idea.
It's fucking insane.
That's the idea.
And that because they've now been confronted with something extremely unexpected that they weren't expected to see.
But somehow it makes sense.
It doesn't matter if it makes sense
It
or not.
does
It's
matter.
unexpected.
It does matter if it makes sense.
Some of your shit makes sense and some of it doesn't.
I know, and some of it's successful and some of it's not.
Is there a correlation between making sense and successful?
I
would argue
what do
no.
you consider successful? Like it's sold?
Did you make money?
No. Let's I mean, that's a whole separate thing. When I was on Work of Art, the next great artist, oftentimes when they would call a work, what they used to decide if a piece of work was good or not, they say this work is successful, this work is not successful, and what they meant by successful is that it achieves something in the art space or the mind space, or just it does something, you know. It isn't just like this amalgamation of objects and paint strokes. It's like it sort of culminates into something that conveys or affects or moves or stimulates thought or whatever. It's successful in that it engages the viewer and causes the person to want to engage with the piece. That's what makes it quote unquote successful. Aside from whether it's financially, we're already moved past that. We're talking about just, is this successful as a viewing or experience? You know, and it's just like if it makes somebody feel something or react, even if it's negative, it's successful because it had some sort of impact.
Yeah.
If it's just like this thing and I look at it and it's like boring or dumb or doesn't mean anything, it's like you can take a fucking toy and put it on something incongruous and be like, hey, I'm a Dadaist now, you know. But it's just like if it doesn't cause a viewer to want to investigate it, then it's probably not successful.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
For how much?
$10. $11.99.
$10. What you think? Yes, no.
I mean, again, we're not coming to any conclusions here.
No, and that's not necessarily the
I don't
goal.
think it's possible. I really feel like this whole scene and everything you're making and doing, it's all interpreted differently by every single other person. So it's sort of like there's never a right answer.
No, and it's like just because something sells doesn't mean it's good.
No,
oftentimes not. You sell a lot of bullshit.
I'm selling a bunch of Funko Pops. I'm selling a lot of them.
Yeah, are those art?
Are they art?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's art? They're sculptural objects.
Yeah.
They're referencing pop culture.
Okay, I mean, we only have like 8 minutes left, so I'm not going to try to explain what art is to you.
Oh, I don't think you need to explain art to me. Thanks. Thanks.
I'm just saying, like, look, a Funko piece is representational. You know, it's like, okay, there's Lord of the Rings Funko shit, right?
Yeah.
Is there?
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, so there's like a Funko Gollum, and it looks like a sort of cartoonish version of the Gollum from the film. And you like Lord of the Rings, you like Gollum, and you think the Funko design is appealing, so you buy it and you put it on your fucking shelf, and you're like, yay. Is it a piece of artwork?
No, but we're getting back to the disposable nature of art that Andy Warhol pioneered.
I don't know one person that's thrown out an Andy Warhol piece.
Okay. Fair enough. I mean, figuratively disposing of like an object, i.e. Warhol, or literally disposing of a $10 Funko Pop. But it's the commodification of the concept of art. Again.
So if I go to the store after the show and I buy a can of Campbell's tomato soup, I open up this can of soup, eat the soup, and then throw the can away. Am I some sort of iconoclast?
Yeah.
So, really? So every time I open a can of soup, I should hang it on the fucking wall.
No, because you're not Warhol.
No,
That's not your jam, dude.
But really, if we really want to talk about what makes something art, what it really just is object worship, right? You have this object and then you worship it, and it becomes the reason why that soup can is not the soup can is because there's no worship aspect to that object. But we're talking about these like Funko figures, like sure, they're objects to start, no matter like that's not like undeniably an object, but the aspect of sort of like adding value to it such that it becomes like something that you can worship is where the viewing experience comes in, where either it's like the viewing experience or whether it's like the emotional experience of viewing a piece. If you don't have that aspect of like this object is actually it's
elevated
or transcendental in some way, what really I think he unlocked is that any object could be art or
I think
worship.
Duchamp did that before.
No, absolutely, but
No,
Duchamp did not unlock the multiple aspect of.
No, that's true, but I mean that any object could be art if an artist calls it art. Or
I don't necessarily think that the sort of attitude to worship these objects were the same in Duchamp, rather than but Duchamp's move is a lot more political, whereas I think in some ways Warhol is a little more theoretical or philosophical in a way, because it's not so much like he put his name on a can and was like, hey, here, like he was like, okay, here's an object.
he actually rendered an image.
Right, and well, I mean that aside, it's like he's saying like there's this object, I'm creating it so that you can worship it, and then here's a multiples of it to satisfy all of your your needs for your illusions of option, the whole series itself is a collection. Hence, there is interrelationships between the objects that also helps it. It's like a cult.
Yeah,
cult of objects.
That's true, but I mean, what an interesting thing is about the Warhol soup cans is that it's a lot more democratic. It's like there wasn't just one. There was enough of them to go around that more than one person could engage with it and enjoy it and so-called worship it, instead of just having one exclusive object. There was like a bunch of them, and that sort of democratized it in a way.
And it helps to make money too.
Yeah,
well,
we all like.
it becomes a commodity, right?
Yeah, I mean, all of us in the fucking designer tour world, whether we like it or not, are bastard children of Andy Warhol, and we better just get fucking used to it. And Kid Robot was smart enough to just be like, "Fuck it, we're going right for it."
Yeah. And I respect that.
Yeah, I
That's
respect
great.
it too.
Yeah.
I hope all those people somehow find their way to me and my web store.
Yeah.
You don't give a shit. You don't give a
no,
shit.
No, not really, not really.
You're difficult to impress.
But if you do impress me, trust me, I will let you know.
Yeah, we're waiting for that day. We've come to the end of our time already.
That's very sad.
Is it? You can stay for the next episode. We're going to talk about marijuana.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, I gotta drain the Liz.
Yeah, I got to
Quick.
drain the list too. Before we sign off, so, okay, Benny Klein, Tenacious Toys, you were a hell of a guest. What's all your Instagram bullshit?
Everything's Tenacious Toys everywhere.
No underscore or any of that shit?
No.
Tenacious.
No, underscores are for losers.
Yeah, for people for people who someone already got my name.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or-
you got to move fast.
Ah, man, all my Instagram, all my social media has all these variations of my
Yeah.
name. It's difficult.
That's a fail.
You know,
Yeah, it's a
everybody
fail.
always has wasted talent too. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, and I look
That's
at this
why
shit,
you
I'm
had
like,
to
yo,
come up with that weird acronym.
Exactly.
Okay, well, at least all your shit has that.
Because
You know.
no one wants that weird acronym. You know, it's like no one even. It's like, what the fuck is it? Even if you look at it, you know, you're like. Someone said, "Wasted talent." I'm like, is that your
You're like,
shit?
I really
Wasted
just
talent?
don't like vowels at all.
Wasted talent.
Vowels
I'm
are
like,
for fucking
seriously?
pussies.
Come on.
All right, everybody, thank you. You've been watching the Super Suck Hour. Tenacious Toys, J Corpse, Nasty Neil, the Sucklord. We'll see you next week. Give us some money on patreon.com/the_sucklord. I really hope to see your money.
Cash out.
Thank you. Shout outs. Good night.
Nicely.